Hello everyone, I'm Joey from Lock Props, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make Enma's Sheath from One Piece. This so far was the most requested prop that I've had in my comment section, so thank you for your suggestions, and I'm so happy to get this out to you guys finally. If you wanted to follow along with this build, be sure to go down in the description below, because that's where my Etsy blueprint is, as well as all my affiliate links, so then that way, if any of the tools or materials that you purchase, it helps me out make more videos like this. Sword 3 out of 3, let's get started.
First, we're going to start off by grabbing the sword that we made from the previous video. We're going to lay the sword down on 10mm EVA foam, and then we're going to trace it around with our Sharpie. We're going to flip it around to the other side and trace again. You want to make sure that there's at least 20mm worth of space in between the two tracings. You just don't want them to be butted up against each other because you need extra space for when you're making the box later. I'll see where the sword stops, and then I'll make a little mark here just so then that way I know where to cut. Next, I grabbed my caliper and I measured about 11mm. I butted my metal calipers up against my digital calipers so then that way I can know exactly where it's going to be. I'll take the metal calipers that are at the 11mm and then I'll start tracing around the tracing that I already did. You can mark it with a Sharpie if you want, so then that way you can see where the line is. All this extra space that I'm doing right now is meant for sanding down, but then it's also meant for the walls that are going to be connecting these two pieces together. Now that I have both of these pieces out, I need to measure the thickness of the collar of the blade. It was 14.5mm, but I'm just going to round up to 15. I set my metal calipers to the 15mm, and then I started going down the line of a 10mm piece of foam. I took the metal calipers at 15mm and started tracing out on the edge of the foam. This way I can cut out two strips of the EVA foam. One side is set for 10mm, which is the thickness of the EVA foam, and then the other side is going to be 15mm. Just keep track of which side is which. For where the spacing is, I'm going to put down barge contact cement, and I'm going to do 2 layers. For right now, only do this to one side, because we may need to trim this down even further. You'll see this piece that I'm gluing on right now. I ended up doing both sides. I just want you to do one side for right now, because we need to build one side of the box, measure it, and then make our cut, and then we'll add on the barge contact cement. You'll see what I mean in a moment. We'll take one of the 10mm EVA foam strips and we'll put barge contact cement on one side. Again, we'll do 2 layers. After they had dried for about 5 minutes, I went ahead and placed it down on one side of the sheath. When placing it down, just make sure that it's as flush as possible. Now that we made one side of the box, we'll go ahead and put the sword in there so then that way we can see how much we need to cut off. Looks like we can actually cut off where I made this Sharpie mark. When it comes to these kind of measurements, because this is handmade, the measurements aren't going to be exact every single time. So that's why we kind of overestimate, and then that way we can cut down. Because I made sheaths in the past using the exact measurement of the sword, and then find out that the sheath was too small because things just didn't work out. So it's kind of better to go bigger than cut down. And looks like we still have some space left. Great. Now we'll go ahead and barge the other side. This is why I said only do one side when you do this. So we'll do the 2 layers going all the way down the sheath, as well as the strip that we made on the 10mm side. Just like the other side of the box, we'll make this as flush as possible. Doing another test fit and we're good. I still have some excess down here at the bottom, so I'll go ahead and cut off a good portion. So now the other side that's going to complete this box, we need to cut it down. I'll lay the one side down and then I'll put the box on top of it. I'll scoot the box to one side to make it flush, and then I will cut off the excess. Now the other wall is going to be the same size as the box we made. Then we'll lather on the 2 layers of contact cement, and we'll also do it on the side pieces as well. Of course, if you're going to be using contact cement, make sure that you are using a respirator because you do not want to breathe this stuff in. When putting the 2 pieces together, I make sure that I make one side flush, because if I do one side, then it should be flush on the other. There was a little bit of excess, so I made my cut. The next step is going to be the point where it's going to take the longest, so take your time with this. So main thing that you want to focus on is first evening everything out, then sanding down the corners, because once you sand down the corners, then you have a round shape. There's a lot of different tools that you can use for this process here. You can use just normal sandpaper, you can use Dremel, you can use a orbital sander, you can even use a belt sander. I personally use the belt sander because that's the thing that shapes everything down the fastest. Use whatever tools that you have at your disposal. Mainly focus on getting the corners shaved down. Now that I have a rough shaping of the sheath here, I'm going to take my orbital sander and use 240 grit first to really shape things down and even everything out. Then I went up to 600 grit and I did the same thing. The higher grit that you go, the more smoother everything is going to be at the end. For this end here, we'll go ahead and just cut off the slightest amount to make it even. Then I'll go over it with the orbital sander. Constantly do test fits just to make sure. Now we can bring out the template for the details. We will first cut out the entire template and then we'll take it one detail at a time. We'll start off with this top area of the sheath, which was about 10 millimeters. Then I grabbed 2mm EVA foam and then I had the calipers run all the way down the edge of the foam. I cut out the piece and then I began wrapping around the sheath. There was a lot of excess, so I cut off a good portion of that. I inverted a piece of tape and I put the foam down so then that way I can put contact cement on it. I'll also put the adhesive on the sheath as well. Going forward, if I say contact cement, I'm gonna mean 2 layers. After about 5 minutes, I began wrapping the trim around the sheath. I still had a little bit of extra, and that's okay. We'll go ahead and see where it overlaps, and then we'll take our razor blade and cut where they overlap. Next, there's this flower pattern. I don't know what it is. It looks like a flower to me. So we'll go ahead and use the X-Acto blade to start cutting it out. I cut out each of them on the sheath so then that way I know exactly where they're supposed to be going. I laid the template on top of the sheath and then with a Sharpie, I made my mark of where they are supposed to go. We're going to flip the sheath on the other side and flip the template, and we're going to do the same on the other side. I got this googly eye kit from Amazon, and I think that it is perfect because it has all these different sizes. I was able to find one that fit the template perfectly. To glue these down, I'll use this SureBond adhesive that they sent me. This medium one that they sent me was actually perfect because it will set really quickly within like 5 to 10 seconds. I'll start off in the middle area and then I start piecing it all the way around. For this next area of the trim, we're going to measure it out and I measured it to be about 7 millimeters. Just like before, we'll set our metal calipers to 7 millimeters. Then we'll run the calipers down the edge of the 2mm EVA foam. I made 2 strips for this. I'll set the template on top of the sheath and then I'll make a mark with my Sharpie where the line is. I'll flip it on the other side and then I start making my marks and lining them up together. I'll take my Dremel and I'll just take off the very edges of these strips. This way when I put them down, there will be a definitive line separating the lines. I'll put both strips down on the inverted piece of masking tape and then I'll put down contact cement. I'll also put contact cement where in between the lines are that I made on the sheath. After the glue has dried a little bit, we'll begin wrapping around. We will wrap it around until we have that overlap and then we'll make our cut. We're going to repeat that process until we have 3 lines of detail. Looking good so far. A little weird with the googly eyes, but it's funny to me. We'll take this end detail and then cut it out. Using the X-Acto blade, we'll cut out the clover tree. I really don't know what it is, but that's what it looks like in the anime. We're going to put this down on the 2mm EVA foam. We're going to trace the body out, but then we're going to go ahead and make a perimeter around that section too. Probably about another 10 millimeters. We're going to make this 4 times. You'll see what I mean and why I'm doing this in a moment. Now that we have it cut out 4 times, we're going to take 2 of them and we're going to trace out the clover shape. On the other 2 that we didn't cut out the clover, we're going to put 2 layers of contact cement on them. The ones that we did cut out the clover, we're going to flip them over and then we're going to put contact cement on that side. Once they're semi-dry, I'll go ahead and overlap it on top of the other one. Then we're going to do the same for the other two. This way we have this detail a little bit recessed and it gives it a little bit more definition. I'll take my scissors and I'll go ahead and just even it out a little bit. Now I'll flip them over and put contact cement on that side. Then I also put it on the sheath where it's supposed to sit. We're going to glue it on probably about 10 to 15 millimeters in. We'll do it on one side and then we're going to go ahead and match it on the other. Now that they're glued on, we'll measure the gap in between the two pieces. Now I'll grab 4mm EVA foam. I'll set my metal calipers to about 34 millimeters, and then I'll run along the edge of the foam, and then cut out one strip. Without gluing anything, I'll go ahead and wrap it around. See that I can cut off a lot, and I'll go ahead and make my cut. I'll still leave a little bit just in case. Now we'll lay that strip down onto the tape and then we're going to put contact cement on it. For this, make sure that you do the contact cement also on the sides lengthwise. Don't do it on the short ends. Once the contact cement was ready, I lined up where the two pieces should be level with each other. Then I start wrapping all the way around. Like I said, there will be some excess, so we'll make our cut afterwards. Now for this, we can start trimming down the profile. So for all this excess, you can start butting your razor blade up against the sheath and then start cutting it out. You'll do it on one side, you'll flip it over, and you'll do the same. Now that we have the rough shape, we'll go ahead and start shaping it down a little bit further and evening it out. We'll take the Dremel and we'll start sanding down the edges. But we don't want to do too much here because this is only 4 millimeters that we're working with. Going back to the template, this little piece right here that goes underneath the piece that we just made, we'll go ahead and cut that out. I'll measure it first and it looks like it's about 23 millimeters. Set the calipers to 23 and then we're going to go ahead and run it along the edge of 2mm EVA foam. This was a pretty long piece and I actually do need 2 of them. So I found the middle and I just cut it in half. I placed the template on the edge and then I started tracing it out with the Sharpie. Since I saw where the line was supposed to continue going, I grabbed my razor blade and just eyeballed it and I ran down the line. I flipped it around, did the other side, and then I also traced out this rounded shape. After I make 2 of these, I now need to make a hole in the middle. You can cut this out using your X-Acto blade, or if you have a hole punch, that just makes things a whole lot easier. I found a hole punch that was exactly the same size. I put the foam on top of a pounding mat and then I cut it out by hammering the punch through the foam. Then I'll take my Dremel and I'll run along the edges of these 2 strips. Next we'll put them down on the tape and begin to contact cement them, making sure that we also do the sheath as well. Once it's ready, we'll line up the hole where the clover is. We'll have the strip wrap around the side. Once we see where there's about halfway there, we'll make our cut with our razor blade and cut off the excess. Then we'll do the other side, and when we're going around, we'll see the overlap and we'll make our cut there. This is optional, but I'm going to be cleaning up the areas where there's excess adhesive. So I grabbed this contact cement thinner, used a Q-tip, and then I began going into the areas where I see the excess glue. Once that area was cleaned up, I went into the areas where there's going to be seam lines and I grabbed some Cosplay clay or air dry foam clay, used a little bit of water, and I massaged it into the seam lines so then that way we can make it as less visible. There were some pretty big seam lines up at the top of the sheath, so I applied a lot of that clay and really just covered up everything. Down at the bottom of the sheath, there was some pretty big seam lines where we had pieced everything together, so I'll put some clay there and do the same thing. Once everything was completely dry, I took my heat gun and I shrinked the pores of the entire sheath. Then I'll take some plasti dip that I warmed up with some warm water and I did 3 coats on it. The purple that I used in the previous video was still good and I still had a good amount left. So if you don't remember, it was a mixture of the purple, the lilac, the gloss, the reducer, and Tim Gore's Bloodline, which Chad from Hoku Props said that that was actually a pretty good adhesive, as well as it kind of helps the paint be a little bit more bendable. I'll take some yellow frog tape and mask around this middle section right here. I'm going to use rub and buff later for those sections, but I just know that the middle part is probably going to have the most paint on it. I put the paint into my airbrush and began spraying. I had to do a few layers of paint on this so then that way everything looked even. But if you don't have an airbrush, you can find any spray can that has this color. After it was dried, I took off the masking tape. Then I grabbed some gold leaf rub and buff. I'll take a paper towel wrapped around my finger and then I'll start painting it on. A little goes a long way, so make sure that you don't have a big glob of rub and buff at the end of your finger. Just make sure that you go slow so then that way you don't slip and have the gold go onto the purple. This is an oil-based paint, so it's very hard to get off. We'll go over the strip details that we made as well as the flower detail. If you're worried about messing up the flowers, you can also use a Q-tip to do this. Basically, anything that is a detail on this sheath, it's going to be gold. After the paint trim is on, now we're done.
So if you guys happen to make this, please be sure to tag me in any of your social media platforms so then that way I can see what you made. And I made a little poll from my community tab, whether or not to make the Wolverine claws or the Deadpool katanas, and you guys all voted for the Deadpool katanas. So I'm going to be making that next. So when that video goes live, I'm going to go ahead and post it right here for you so then that way you can watch it now.